Asterisk, there's something extraordinary about people who don't need to announce every move they make. The ones who don't post their struggles, who don't seek validation, who don't compete for attention, but instead quietly, relentlessly keep moving forward. They're not loud, they're not flashy, but they are consistent. And in the end, they always win. Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered why some of the most successful people you know didn't broadcast their every step? Why they seemed invisible while they were building, but impossible to ignore once they succeeded? That's not coincidence. That's not luck. That's strategy. You see, silent hustlers live by a different code. While others are chasing applause, they're chasing progress. While others are busy talking about what they'll do, silent hustlers are already doing it, and when the world finally sees them, it looks like an overnight success. But in reality, it's years of discipline, patience, and unshakable determination. If you truly want to win in life, if you want results that last, results that speak louder than anything you could ever say, then stay with me for this message, because today I will show you exactly why silent hustlers always win. And when you understand this, it might just change the way you approach everything you do. Asterisk silence builds focus and clarity. And I want you to understand something important. When you remove the noise, when you stop feeling the need to announce every plan, every step, every small accomplishment, you suddenly free up your greatest asset, your focus. Because the truth is, every time you talk about what you're going to do, you're already giving away a piece of your energy. You're feeding your ego instead of feeding your vision. But silent hustlers know the value of conserving that energy and putting it exactly where it belongs, into the work itself. Think about it. How many people do you see constantly talking about their goals? They're always announcing, always promising, always declaring what they're going to achieve. Yet, when the time comes, the results don't match the words. Do you know why? Because they spend more energy proving they are working than actually working. Silent hustlers are different. They don't need to prove anything to anyone. They let their dedication speak. They let their progress speak. They let their results speak. When you choose silence, you're not weak. You're powerful. You're eliminating distractions. You're protecting your vision from unnecessary opinions, doubts, and negativity. Because the moment you speak too soon, the moment you let the wrong people in on your plans, you open the door to resistance. You open the door to criticism, and sometimes that one seed of doubt from someone else can derail you before you even begin. But the silent hustler doesn't give the world that chance. They protect their dreams like a secret garden. They water it quietly. They nurture it privately. And when it finally blooms, the world can't ignore it. Silence also creates clarity. When you are not distracted by the noise around you, you can hear yourself more clearly. You can hear your intuition, your instincts, your true voice. You can plan without interference, and in that silence, you gain perspective, because clarity is never found in the middle of chaos. It's found when you step away from the chatter, when you resist the temptation to broadcast, and when you ground yourself in the work that matters. I want you to picture this. Two individuals start with the same goal. One talks about it constantly, telling the world what they're going to do. They thrive off the likes, the attention, the validation that comes with the announcement. But slowly, that excitement fades. They've already gotten the praise, so their drive weakens. On the other hand, the silent hustler tells no one. They wake up every morning and quietly put in the work. No applause, no validation, just discipline. And when months pass, when years pass, the one who was talking has faded into the background, but the one who stayed silent. They now stand on a foundation of results so undeniable that no words were ever needed. That's the difference between noise and power. Words make noise, Results make impact, and that impact is what silent hustlers are after. They don't need to be seen every step of the way, because they know the final product will be impossible to ignore. This is also why silent hustlers move with so much freedom, without the weight of opinions, without the pressure of proving themselves daily. They're free to experiment, to fail privately, to learn quietly, and to grow without judgment. That is where true strength is born, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows, because in silence you build resilience. In silence you build discipline. In silence you build clarity that no amount of noise could ever give you. And let's be honest, silence intimidates people. When you don't announce your every move, people are left wondering what you're working on, how far you've come, what you're building. That mystery gives you an edge, because when you finally reveal your success, it feels like it came out of nowhere. But you know the truth. It didn't come out of nowhere. It came from years of focus and clarity in the silence, while everyone else was distracted by the noise. So when I say silence builds focus and clarity, I'm not just giving you advice. I'm giving you a strategy for life. Protect your vision. Don't dilute your energy by seeking validation. Don't allow your dreams to be suffocated by noise. Trust yourself enough to work quietly, and trust your results enough to speak loudly when the time comes. Because in the end, the ones who choose silence, the ones who choose focus, the ones who protect their clarity, those are the ones who always rise above. Results speak louder than words, and this truth has never failed. You can talk about what you want. You can talk about what you're building. You can talk about what you're going to achieve. But in the end, talk doesn't move you forward. It doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't build the dream, and it doesn't inspire lasting respect. What truly captures attention, what demands respect without asking for it, are results. That is why silent hustlers always have the advantage. They don't spend their days explaining themselves or convincing others to believe in them. They simply show up, do the work, and allow the results to tell the story. Think about the difference between someone who constantly announces their goals and someone who never says a word but delivers. The one who talks may win the spotlight for a moment, but if the results never come, that spotlight quickly fades. On the other hand, the one who stays silent may go unnoticed in the beginning, but when their results finally show, they command attention that no words could ever buy. That's the power of letting your work be your voice, and there's something deeply magnetic about results. People may not listen to your words, they may doubt your promises, but they cannot deny evidence. Results are undeniable. You don't have to explain them. You don't have to defend them. They speak for themselves. And in a world where most people are busy talking, the one who shows proof always stands apart. That's why silent hustlers win not because they shouted the loudest, but because they stayed disciplined until the evidence became too powerful to ignore. When you think about the greatest achievements in history, very rarely were they born out of endless talk. They were born out of persistence, execution, and results that shifted the course of the world. Results have a way of silencing doubt, of silencing critics, of silencing even the loudest noise around you. A person may argue with your words, but they cannot argue with your results. That is your strongest weapon. That is why it is better to put energy into building than into proving. And let me tell you something, results build trust. In business, in relationships, in life, words may capture interest, but results build confidence. When people see that you consistently deliver, when they witness the progress you've made, they begin to trust your vision, your ability, and your strength. And the beauty of it is you don't need to convince them. You don't need to chase their approval. Your results naturally command it. But here's the part most people overlook. Achieving results isn't just about proving yourself to others. It's about proving something to yourself. When you commit to doing the work in silence and you see the results manifest, it changes the way you see yourself. You begin to trust yourself more deeply. You begin to believe in your ability to create, to overcome, to succeed. That inner confidence is priceless. It's what allows you to keep going when no one is watching, when no one is cheering, when no one believes. Results become your inner reminder that your effort is not wasted, that your consistency is paying off, that your silence has a purpose. Now imagine the moment when all those silent hours of work, all those nights of sacrifice, all those days of consistency finally add up. Imagine the moment when your results show and the people who once doubted you can no longer deny you. That moment is powerful because it doesn't require you to say a single word. The success itself speaks, and that moment belongs only to the ones who had the discipline to stay quiet and do the work while everyone else was talking. That is the beauty of being a silent hustler. You don't need to chase recognition. You don't need to explain your worth. You simply allow your work to be the loudest voice in the room, and when your results speak, the noise around you fades away. The critics become quiet, the doubters step back, and even the ones who ignored you are forced to pay attention. That's the kind of victory that doesn't just feel good. It lasts, because results can never be taken away. So don't be discouraged if people don't see your effort right now. Don't feel the need to announce every step. Trust the process, trust your work, because when the results come, they will speak so much louder than any words you could ever say. And in the end, that's what makes all the difference. The words fade, but the results remain. Patience and consistency build unstoppable momentum. And this is something most people struggle with, because we live in a world obsessed with speed. Everyone wants quick results, instant recognition, overnight success. But the truth is, nothing real, nothing lasting is built overnight. Silent hustlers understand this better than anyone. They know that greatness takes time, that success is not a race to the finish line, but a steady climb, one deliberate step after another. Patience is power. It's the strength to keep going when you don't see immediate results. It's the courage to trust the process even when the rewards are not visible yet. Silent hustlers don't get frustrated when success doesn't happen quickly, because they understand that every small action, every consistent effort, is building momentum beneath the surface. And once that momentum takes hold, it becomes unstoppable. Consistency is where most people fail. It's easy to be excited in the beginning. It's easy to put in effort when motivation is high. But motivation fades, excitement fades. What remains is discipline, and that is where consistency is born. Silent hustlers don't rely on being motivated every day. They rely on being disciplined. They don't stop when it gets hard. They don't quit when it gets boring, and they don't look for shortcuts. They show up every single day, whether they feel like it or not. And over time, that consistency compounds into extraordinary results. Think of it like this: a river doesn't carve a canyon in a day. It takes years, decades, centuries of steady flow. The water is not loud. It's not rushing for attention. It's simply persistent. And eventually, it shapes stone into beauty that lasts forever. That's what consistency does for your goals. It may not feel dramatic in the moment, but with patience, the work you do each day builds something unshakable. Silent hustlers embrace this truth. They are patient enough to wait for the breakthrough and consistent enough to keep building until it arrives, while others are looking for fast success and giving up when it doesn't come. They are planting seeds, nurturing them, and trusting the harvest will come at the right time. To the outside world, their progress looks invisible, but in reality, they are building momentum so powerful that when it finally breaks through, it looks unstoppable. Momentum is what separates those who try from those who succeed. Once you build it, it carries you forward even on the days when you feel tired, even on the days when you feel like giving up. And the only way to create that momentum is through patience and consistency. That's why silent hustlers don't need to rush. They know that even if the results take time, the work they are putting in every day is building a force that will eventually be impossible to stop. This is why patience is not weakness. Patience is wisdom. It's understanding that if you rush the process, you risk breaking what you're trying to build. But if you trust the process, if you stay consistent, you create something that cannot be shaken. Silent hustlers are wise enough to know that lasting success comes slowly, and disciplined enough to keep showing up until it arrives. And let's be clear, patience doesn't mean doing nothing. Patience means working hard consistently while understanding that results take time. It means refusing to quit just because you don't see instant proof. It means believing that every small step matters, even when no one else notices. Because when you add up those small steps day after day, they eventually turn into something monumental. There is something so powerful about a person who refuses to quit, someone who understands that their time is coming, and instead of trying to force it, they prepare for it. Silent hustlers don't chase the spotlight. They prepare for the moment it finds them, and when that moment comes, they are ready, because they've been building for it all along. So if you ever feel like you're not moving fast enough, if you ever feel like your progress is invisible, remember this: patience and consistency are doing their work, even if you can't see it yet. Trust that momentum is building, and when it finally shows, it will be unstoppable. And in the end, those who have the patience to wait and the consistency to keep going are the ones who rise to the top, and they are the ones who never fall back down. Power lies in the element of surprise. Silent hustlers understand this better than anyone because they know the less people expect from you, the more powerful your results become. When you move quietly, no one sees your progress. No one knows your strategy. No one can predict your next step. And that mystery gives you leverage. It creates a kind of strength that comes not from what you say, but from what you withhold. Because when you finally step forward with what you've been building in silence, it has the power to shock the world. Think about how the human mind works. We are wired to notice change. When something shifts suddenly, it commands our attention. That's exactly what happens when a silent hustler reveals their success. One moment, people don't see them. The next, they've achieved something extraordinary, and that contrast is what makes their victory so undeniable. It looks like it came out of nowhere, but in reality, it was years of work, discipline, and patience behind the scenes. There's a certain beauty in being underestimated. When people don't know what you're working on, they don't expect much. And when they don't expect much, you carry no pressure to prove anything. That freedom allows you to focus entirely on your craft, without the weight of outside voices. Then, when your results appear, they seem larger than life because no one anticipated them. That's the power of surprise. It multiplies the impact of your success. And there's another advantage to moving silently: protection. When you don't reveal your plans, no one can interfere. No one can sabotage what they don't know. No one can copy what they cannot see. Silent hustlers protect their vision by keeping it close until it's ready to be revealed. They don't rush to announce. They don't beg for recognition. They wait, and in waiting, they guard the very thing that will set them apart. The element of surprise also silences doubters in a way words never could. You don't have to argue with people who don't believe in you. You don't have to debate your worth or defend your path. All you have to do is stay the course, stay silent, and when the moment comes, let your results appear. Nothing shuts down doubt faster than undeniable success. The very people who once questioned you will be the ones asking how you did it. That transformation is not achieved through words, it's achieved through patience, discipline, and the shock of results revealed at the right time. Momentum and surprise together create a powerful combination. Silent hustlers build quietly, day after day, stacking progress until it becomes a force too strong to ignore. Then, when they finally reveal it, it feels like a sudden explosion of success. But the truth is, it wasn't sudden at all. It was deliberate. It was carefully built in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to step into the light. And when that moment comes, it doesn't just make an impression. It makes history. This is why silence should never be mistaken for weakness. It's strategy. It's patience. It's the art of positioning yourself so that when you rise in a way no one can stop. And the rise is always more powerful when it's unexpected. Because when people think they know everything about you, they underestimate you. But when you reveal what they never saw coming, you instantly shift the way they see you forever. So if you've been building quietly, if you've been working in the shadows while no one notices, don't be discouraged. That's not a disadvantage, it's your greatest advantage. Every step you take that no one sees is adding power to your story. Every sacrifice you make in silence is preparing you for a breakthrough that will surprise even those closest to you. And when that breakthrough happens, it will carry more weight, more power, and more influence than if you had announced every move along the way. Because the truth is, the element of surprise is not about impressing people. It's about positioning yourself so strongly that when your moment comes, there is no denying it. You don't just succeed, you redefine what people thought was possible. And that is the ultimate victory. In the end, the ones who win are not always the loudest, not always the most visible, not always the most celebrated in the beginning. The ones who win are the ones who are willing to move in silence, to protect their vision, to stay patient, and to embrace the power of surprise.